Hi everyone, I want to talk today about an article including one of my favourite politicians today, Lee Anderson. Now, Lee Anderson is a former Conservative MP who defected to Reform UK last year, and he really got the ball rolling with the momentum for the Reform Party. And Lee Anderson, I think, could well be the next leader when Nigel Farage decides to hang up the gloves. Lee Anderson says it how it is. He calls a spade a spade. He doesn't care what criticism he gets, and he will take anybody on. He's not afraid to say it how it is. Maybe more so in some ways even than Nigel Farage himself. And that obviously could be because Lee is on a smaller scale. He doesn't have quite the backlash that Nigel Farage has, but he's not a million miles away. So let's hear what he's got to say in criticism for Sir Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister. So we've got an article here by GB News, and the headline is Sue Gray is facing backlash after former Labour think tank staffer was handed a senior role in the Cabinet Office. Reform MP Lee Anderson accused Sir Keir Starmer of filling civil service with his friends in a furious rant on GB News. Anderson said he was worried for the future of our country, and he's not the only one on that one, is he? After it emerged that a former Labour think tank staffer had been handed a top job in the civil service. Jess Sargent, who previously worked for the Labour Together, has been made a Deputy Director in the Government Properties and Constitution Group, the PCG. The appointment has sparked outrage with the new government being accused of cronyism. Speaking to GB News, Lee Anderson said, "The problem we have at the moment is there's no opposition in Parliament." And obviously, though, he's referring to the lack of MPs the Conservatives have. They're down to 121. They effectively have no leader, with Rich Sunak filling in the space till they have an election. And we've done a video on that. Rich Sunak and Keir Starmer basically agree on everything. It's actually quite sick how much they agree on everything. The Prime Minister's questions is basically Rich Sunak standing up, telling Keir Starmer, "You're right, you're correct, I fully support everything that you're doing." And maybe that really is the truth behind the scenes. Maybe it's all a bit of a pantomime when it comes to the Conservatives and Labour Party, and they really are behind the scenes all friends. We see the civil service being infiltrated by the left. Most of the councils in the country are now run by the Labour Party. Most of the police and crime commissioners in the country are Labour police and crime commissioners. Most of the mayors in the country are Labour Party members. The only thing I would say to that, where I would kick back a bit to Lee Anderson, is the reason the councils, now I'm an independent councillor in a Labour-run council, and believe me, it's so left-wing, it's so corrupt, it's shambolic. They waste money like there's no tomorrow. However, I can't complain. The reason it's a Labour council is because more Labour councillors have been elected by you, the public. So it is democracy. But I do understand what he's saying. The GB News host, Patrick Scasey, pointed out police and crime commissioners or regional mayors are all voted in local elections. He said they are voted for the mayors, etc., but the civil service is supposedly impartial, another problem that we face in the Labour Council. If people thought there was a left-wing bias in the civil service, which we are constantly told didn't exist, and now you look at some of other left-wingers and Labour donors being planted into top jobs in the civil service, you do have to wonder what hope would any right-winger ever have of performing a functional government. So in all these councils, we see that there is a left-wing sway amongst civil service. And the reason for this, and it's probably not the type of interview Lee Anderson could mention this if he is aware of it, it's something called common purpose. Common purpose is a leadership course that you pay for with your tax money to top civil servants to go on, and it's 10 grand a pop. Now, when they're on these courses, what they're actually taught is how to pacify councillors, MPs, members of the public, because we can all come and go, but they've got to have a common purpose going forward. Now, this was started off by no other than Tony Blair. It's registered charity, but we can't see what its aims and goals are. It actually acts as if it's like the Freemasons. And the common purpose is a left-wing agenda, very similar to what you see with the Biden and Harris movement over in America. So that is why you see these councils, these police commissioners, everybody left-wing. You see the police officers flying the pride flags, having it painted on the police cars. This is the movement. This is what they want the people to go along with, and they know the silent majority don't agree with it. But what you do, you make the silent majority too scared to speak out, and you push and push and push your agenda. Anybody who disagrees is a right-wing racist. So carry on. Anderton responded, "There's no opposition in the country at the moment. Sir Keir is becoming like an authoritarian leader in this country, and he's going to fill the civil service with his friends. So if you're Keir Starmer and you have an agenda going forward, you're going to fill them top roles with like-minded people who you've worked with before, who believe what you believe and are going to say yes to everything you say." So it doesn't surprise me that like-minded people to Keir Starmer, as frightening as that is, are being put in these top jobs. But Anderson is completely right. If you're a civil servant, you're meant to be impartial. However, people will always do who the person who hires and sacks them tells them to do. It is cronyism. It's a slippery slope. I'm really worried for the future of the country, Anderson said. A Cabinet Office spokesperson said there are clear rules governing recruitment and appointment of civil service roles, which are regulated by the Civil Service Commission. We do not comment on individual staffing members. So after reading all that, please let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think it's a cronyism government? Do you think Keir Starmer is authoritarian? I certainly do. Or do you think that there's movements also behind Keir Starmer pushing him in these directions? Maybe somebody with a global institution and a former Prime Minister, Tony Blair. So please like, share and subscribe, and please let me know your thoughts. I'll see you next time.